Oh my god, it's based on the Easter Island heads. That's a bird with a Josuke haircut, and you know it. That is a sentient pile of garbage. In this video, we are going to investigate what Pokemon are based on. Within the compendium of Pokemon creatures, there are a lot of diverse Pokemon designs that are inspired by real-world historical artifacts and sites. One such example is Nosepass and Probopass. These Pokemon are based on the Moai statues on Easter Island. Nosepass resembles an incomplete Moai with its featureless, perpetually closed eyes and bald head, whereas Probopass resembles Moai statues that have been refurbished to give their original state, with their red cylindrical hats and coral placed in the statue's eye sockets to give them the appearance of sclera, or the whites in their eyes. Both Nosepass and Probopass have a large red nasal compass that points north due to Earth's magnetic field. Probopass has a mustache made of iron filings magnetically attracted to its nasal compass, and it supports itself using magnetism. Furthermore, while its main nose still points north, Probopass has 3 mini noses that point to the other cardinal directions east, south and west, and it can control these nose drones to help it battle. The Pokédex entry states that Nosepass is always facing north, like how the needle of a compass points north. This wasn't always the case in Pokemon Go, where people complained online that Nosepass didn't face north. In response to online complaints, a programmer at Pokemon Go changed it so that Nosepass will now automatically face north when spawned. On the whole, Nosepass and Probopass are really cool Pokemon that combine the concepts of Easter Island head, noses, compasses, and magnetism really nicely. Squawkabilly are based on monk parakeets, exotic birds that can have different coloured plumage like green, blue, yellow, and white. All of these coat colours are permanent. Did you know that wild Squawkabilly of the same colour tend to flock together? Monk parakeet in the wild are mostly green, but there have been birds with blue and yellow plumage, although they are less common. Monk parakeet are noisy and social birds that are almost always seen in groups, which is a behaviour mirrored in the Pokemon equivalent. The green-feathered Squawkabilly, similar to real-life monk parakeet, are the predominant ones. They make a lot of noise when looking for food in the mornings and evenings. The specimens with a bluish plumage feels rivalry with those with green feathers, since the groups of the latter are larger in number and therefore stronger. The yellow Squawkabilly are the most aggressive. On more than one occasion, they have kicked other groups of bird Pokemon out of a city. Like their real-world counterpart, monk parakeet can be a threat to the local wildlife and crops. The white-plumaged Squawkabilly are the most minority group. However, they live without problems in civilization because their colour allows them to camouflage themselves well among buildings. Other than colour, the only difference between them stat-wise is a hidden ability they can have. Green and blue plumage will have Guts as a hidden ability, which boosts their attack when they have a status condition, while the yellow and white plumage birds have Sheer Force as their hidden ability, where moves with a secondary effect are increased in power, but they lose that secondary effect. Squawkabilly also sport a pompadour hairstyle, where their hair is swept upwards over their forehead. One nice thing about bird Pokemon is that it's relatively easy to figure out what they're inspired by. You cannot tell me that Toucannon is not based on a toucan. The orange beak with a black tip, the black and white plumage, the blue eyes and blue feet? It's a toucan! The heating of its beak seems to be a reference to how toucans use their large beak as a way to release heat. Although Toucannon is based on a toucan, its pre-evolutions, Pikipek and Trumbeak, are based on woodpeckers. When someone mentions camouflaging animals, most people think of the chameleon, or vice versa. If you mention a chameleon, people immediately recall that they can change colours. Kecleon is based on a chameleon with a colour-changing ability based around camouflaging. Pokemon also made Inteleon, another chameleon that can camouflage so well that it becomes invisible. But you know what? Chameleons aren't even that good at camouflage. It is a myth that chameleons change colour to blend in with their surroundings. Chameleons can only change colours to communicate to other lizards and as a reaction based on their mood or temperature. The fact that most chameleons are green and tend to blend in with their backgrounds can mostly be attributed to natural selection. To change colour, chameleons change the structural arrangement of iridophores underneath their skin. These iridophores contain nanocrystals that influences how light reflects off the skin. When the chameleon is relaxed, the iridophores are tightly packed together and so the crystals reflect shorter wavelengths of light, such as blue and green. If the chameleon becomes agitated or threatened, it stretches these cells out. This means that the crystals reflect yellows and reds, which are warning colors in the natural world with longer wavelengths of light. You know what is really good at camouflage? Cephalopods. Octopus, squid, cuttlefish can modify their hues by accumulating or dispersing pigments within their skin cells, leading to a change in their color and texture to match their surroundings. It's such a bizarre and marvelous ability that cephalopods possess that isn't reflected at all in their Pokemon representatives. If you want to learn about a subject like science and history, I always encourage you to hit the textbooks. Go to the qualified experts. Read the scientific papers. Don't learn it from Pokemon, because if you rely on Pokemon or pop culture to teach you about these wonderful subjects, then you'll just get a derivative, watered-down understanding. Pokemon may be inspired by scientific concepts, but they are not completely scientifically accurate. If you want a deeper understanding, you need to go to the source material. Find resources that are content-dense and comprehensive rather than piecemeal to learn about these fascinating matters about the world. Delibird, the delivery Pokemon, is inspired by Santa Claus. Its red and white coloring reflects the suit that Santa Claus wears. Delibird's signature move, Present, allows it to carry special items in its sack-like tail that may heal or explode on its opponent. Delibird tends to live in mountainous regions, giving stored food to its chicks, but it has been known to generously share its food with humans on icy mountains. Delibird wishes you all a Merry Christmas and reminds you to do one good deed every day. After all, good deeds are the gifts that keeps on giving. Baltoy's design seems to be heavily inspired by clay figurines from the Jomon period of prehistoric Japan. The Pokemon shares the artifact's small height, enlarged closed eyes, and swirling designs on the body. But it seems that Baltoy only represents the top half of a Dogu figurine, as it possesses a spinning top-like point beneath its abdomen. Very little is known of the meaning and purpose of these idols, but adding to the mystery is that the vast majority of Dogu artifacts appears to be fractured or ritualistically broken apart shortly after they were created. The ore Pokemon, Glimmora, seems to resemble a passion flower in its design. Particularly, it may be based on the deadly nightshade from the Solanaceae family. As the name implies, it is heavily toxic. Glimmora's blue crystal color may be associated with copper 2 salts like chalcanthite, which tend to be blue or bluish-green in color. Tatsugiri and Dondozo as a duo seem conceptually inspired by the brain and brawn team-up trope. One is smart but physically frail and small, whereas the other is physically strong and big, but not very smart. Tatsugiri, the very intelligent and cunning one, is known to play dead to attract prey, and once it's in sight, it commands Dondozo, the very big and strong one, to attack. It's a mutualistic relationship where the smart one uses their intelligence to communicate vital information to the big one, and the big one uses their strength to their advantage to achieve a common goal. In double battles, the little fish can use its unique commander ability, which means it will sit in Dondozo's mouth. Then, if the moved Order Up is used, Dondozo will gain a stat boost based on Tatsugiri's form. You can find both of these Pokemon at Casaroya Lake. Both Pokemon were designed by James Turner, and he confirmed on Twitter that he got to pick the shiny colors for these Pokemon designs. A pure water-type Pokemon, Dondozo appears to be based on large catfish species, such as a Wells catfish, which can grow to staggering sizes. Tatsugiri, the mimicry Pokemon, or the sushi fish Pokemon as I like to call it, is based on nigiri sushi, a type of sushi where rice is molded with the hands and topped with a slice of fish. Tatsugiri is Dragon Water type and comes in 3 different forms, curly, droopy, and stretchy, and they represent different kinds of nigiri sushi. Curly form Tatsugiri resembles shrimp nigiri. Droopy form resembles pink tuna nigiri. You can see we're just going by colors now. Stretchy form Tatsugiri resembles yellow egg or herring roll nigiri. The shiny curly form Tatsugiri resembles an eel nigiri due to its brown color. A shiny droopy form Tatsugiri resembles a halibut or squid nigiri due to its pure snow white color. Shiny stretchy form Tatsugiri resembles salmon nigiri, especially the stripes of the salmon flesh. As part of trying to research for this video, it's really hard to find reputable sources, and you shouldn't believe everything you read on the internet. This is a hard exercise in internet literacy, since I can't use peer-reviewed literature to gather information because there is none. Researching this involves looking at online forum sites and encyclopedia pages. How do I know that they're not just making stuff up? You need evidence to back up your statements. The gold standard is developer commentary, when the designers are being completely transparent about their process, but the issue is there isn't a lot of it. The second step is official lore from games, anime, manga, merchandise, etc. But that will involve making heavy inferences. And then everything else is speculation or guesses. Source, trust me bro. I need evidence. I've saved the developer commentary for last because, at least with these ones, I know they are 100% correct. Vullaby and Mandibuzz were made as they needed a dark-type Pokemon. It is a female and motherly counterpart to the male and fatherly birds, Rufflet and Braviary. They were particularly proud when they came up with the idea of Vullaby using dead bones as a nest and growing up inside them. An upside-down skull is formed when Vullaby is in her egg and Mandibuzz is incubating it. Vullaby looks like it's wearing a diaper, and the bird it resembles is a vulture. Rufflet and Braviary are based on bald eagles, and the colors of red, white, and blue are based on the American flag. They included strong legs based on how they were depicted in Native American art. This Pokemon just screams America. The feather on Rufflet's head is a reference to Native American feather decorations like a war bonnet, and they also gave Rufflet a big round head because they really like the look of a chick's fluffy white head. Lastly, Meinfoo and Meinshao was created because they wanted an animal-based fighting-type Pokemon. All the previous fighting types were too humanoid. They combined short-tailed weasels with the concept of Kung Fu to create Meinfoo and Meinshao. Short-tailed weasels, ermine or stoats, whatever you call them, they're cute, but don't let their looks fool you. They are ferocious predators. In fact, they're invasive species in New Zealand. They kill a lot of native birds. One more thing is that Mineshao's arms resemble water sleeves from performers in Chinese opera to help express the emotions of the character they play. Thank you for watching Project Origin of Species Pokemon Design Inspirations. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I've spent more than 30 hours of my life making this video, and I'll be spending more in the future. Hope to see you in the next video.